we see here beautifully perfect ornaments of the old world, of the ancient world. We see a flute here. Instruments and ornaments. And basic theorems for mathematical principality are applied in the construction and creation of many things that form the makeup of the ancient world. So this is a mathematical principle, as seen here, which shows how you can understand some perfect geometry if you follow certain principles and theorems. Perfect ratios that can be replicated are more valuable than gold in some cases. Ratios and formulas, things that can be used for a lot of things. Like you use ratios for when you need to bake a cake or make food, right? But not only food, and not only ratios, I should say, but formulas. When you use certain true formulas, you can create not only food, but medicine, medicine, architecture, just you can express power in beautiful ways, in heavenly ways, right? In creative ways, also in destructive ways. And certain alchemical principles, applied true principles, form the basis of all certain technologies that exist today. You can learn about it here in the museum. Feel free to pause and read any of this. Western Anatolian Enlightenment. Here's the artifacts on exhibit. Here are the artifacts on exhibit here. This is interesting. Anytime you see an owl, you know that it means something. There's deep philosophical and theological meaning in the significance of the owl symbolism. Not only an owl, but also other animals. Feel free to pause and read over if you want to learn more about any of these. You can learn about the Western Anatolian Enlightenment. Here is a Neo-Assyrian clay tablet with the depictions of constellations. Now, constellations are significant, and they hold significant value, true value, when we are to create true formulas for how to measure the universe, right, and our world, and produce very powerful means of creation or destruction via our technology. So cosmology are principles that, when understood, can be used to create some powerful technology. These are Platonic solids. This shows thorough instruction of geometry and principles of geometry. It's beautiful. It's beautiful when we understand for how grand the ancient world was and how their schools of thought and true philosophy and principles that make up their technology are the same principles that make up our technology. It's how we tell time. It's how we measure the calendar, day, week, month, and year. It's how we measure things. It's how we create things. You can learn about the Archaic period and Corinthian trade. Here's the pottery on an exhibit. Over here we have some more pottery. Wow, this is beautiful. This looks almost Egyptian. And a lot of the Greek schools of magic and mystery adopted the truths and divine formulas and theorems and such from the Greeks. Sorry, from the Greeks. The Greeks adopted it from the Greeks, rather. The Greeks adopted it from the Egyptians, right? not only schools of thought, theorem, philosophy, mathematics, not only all of these alchemical principles and formulas, but also their religious ideologies, right? Their mythologies. We call it myth, but myth and legend. But we live in the greatest legend. Like reality is the myth and legend, right? Rather than if you say myth, people think fantasy or fake. But I implore you to look deep into the magic and mystery that makes up the modern world today, and look towards what these people believed in, as related to their history, not just a fantasy, but their history. Look into the foundation of Troy, the city of Troy, the nation of Troy, and the ancestral lineage that dates back to a certain godly history, right? When we talk about gods and demigods, grand men and women alike who have walked on this earth, godly men and women. Godly men and women who have worn symbols that have a timeless true meaning, that make up alchemical formulas and philosophy, that have great, relevant significance. I'll show you this again. Where do we also see this symbol? We see the symbol in Celtic mysticism, Celtic schools of philosophy, religious ideology. Not only Celtic, but a lot of ancient advanced civilizations that have founded all the modern advanced civilizations. You see wisdom that stands the test of time and symbols that do as well. So it's interesting. Wow, look at all this. Symbols. Animals have spiritual, symbolic significance. Men and women in tales of old, mythological tales, they hold much significance. I implore you to look into these tales and to learn more, for yourself. I am enthralled and baffled I'm astonished by how much significance these old stories have, not only to understand history and how the modern world works, but even your life and how you are to operate as your best, learning from these tales of old.